You know that feeling when you're about to make a decision and then your brain goes, wait, is this a terrible idea? And then you're left wondering, is this my gut trying to tell me something important? Or is it just anxiety trying to keep me in my comfort zone? If you've ever found yourself caught in this spiral, you're not alone. I've been there too so many times. And honestly, it can feel exhausting trying to figure out which one to trust. Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Veronika, and today we're talking about how to know when to trust your gut and when your anxiety is just messing with you. Here's what we'll cover today. First, we'll break down the difference between intuition and anxiety. Then we'll talk about why anxiety often disguises itself as a gut feeling. And finally, I'll share some tips on how to tune into your real intuition and stop letting anxiety make decisions for you. Alright, let's get into it. What exactly separates anxiety from intuition? At first glance, they can feel really similar because they both show up as this inner signal. But the craziest part is that science shows that both of these processes are extremely different in how they work and in how they feel. Intuition is this deep, calm knowing, like your body and brain quietly integrating patterns from past experiences and sensory inputs. Psychologists describe it as a process happening in the unconscious mind, combining subtle cues, emotions, and memories into a quick, almost instant feeling. That's why athletes, businessmen, skilled poker players often talk about this gut instinct, because it often guides them accurately without over-analyzing anything. In psychology, this phenomenon is actually called somatic markers. And these markers help us make rapid decisions by linking emotions to bodily sensations like a gut feeling or muscle tension. So let's say you're texting someone new you just met on a dating app. Everything feels fine, but then without any clear reason, you feel uneasy. And your logical mind tells you you're overreacting. There is nothing to be worried about. But this physical discomfort is your body's way to say that something is off. Even if you, like your mind, can't really put a finger on it, your subconscious can sense that something is strange. Like it can pick up on some subtle clues about maybe the other person's behavior. Maybe their tone is slightly dismissive or they're being pushy in their messages. So these are the somatic markers. Your brain stores emotions and experiences and then it links them with bodily sensations to guide you. Obviously, your intuition is not going to give you a full analysis, but it often guides you. It tells you something is wrong, so pay attention. And this physical signal helps you save time and notice those red flags a lot faster. So on the other hand, let's talk about anxiety because it operates differently. Anxiety is the mind's attempt to protect you. Even though I know it sounds strange because experiencing anxiety is not a very pleasant feeling. You might experience a racing heart, overthink, or feel this physical tension. And anxiety is often driven by fear and based on past experiences. It often demands action right now. Like, what if something goes wrong? I have to take action now. Or what if I fail? I have to do something right now. So it creates this sense of urgency, those mental loops that are honestly more about avoiding discomfort than following your real values. So anxiety tricks us into believing that we must react immediately. Again, intuition feels calm and reassuring, pointing you to the right direction. And anxiety feels frantic and overwhelming, often urging you to avoid or over control. And this is classic self-sabotage, and I'm gonna talk a lot about it in this video as well. Anxiety pulls you away from opportunities because it's often rooted in fear. It overgeneralizes past experiences to predict future outcomes. And if you're not sure what you're experiencing, like your intuition or anxiety, don't worry about it because it is actually extremely common. That's why I decided to make this video. One little trick here is to take time and just sleep on it because intuition tends to stay the same or become clearer over time, not louder over time, while anxiety shifts, grows louder, or even fades away completely. Okay, now let's talk about why we mistake anxiety for intuition and how it tricks us into thinking that it's our gut feeling. I think about a year ago, I read this book, The Mountain spontaneous you, and I absolutely loved it. The author of this book says that unresolved emotions in the sphere of change create mental noise. This noise clouds our thinking and makes it hard to trust our inner voice. And anxiety thrives on this noise. It uses it to keep us stuck in old patterns. Because here's the thing about anxiety. Those patterns are uncomfortable, but they are familiar. That's why we experience all of that. And the brain loves familiar. The author writes, when you stop engaging in self-sabotaging behavior, repressed emotions that you weren't even aware of will start to come up, and you might feel even worse than you did before. It is simply that we're being held back by our fear of feeling. And yes, self-sabotage often pretends to be the gut feeling, especially when we're standing at the edge of something new and challenging, because again, anxiety doesn't like uncomfortable. It doesn't like unfamiliar. It likes things to be the same. And so that's why we might experience this feeling of self-sabotage or anxiety when we're about to try something new. Anxiety might whisper, don't do it, it doesn't feel right. But that's not your intuition. That's fear masquerading as instinct. This is how anxiety keeps us safe, or rather how it keeps us stuck. Our brains think that stepping outside the comfort zone is a threat. And so anxiety swoops in to convince us that retreating is actually the right move. Let's say you start thinking of starting a new hobby or applying for a dream job, and then your gut feeling tells you not to. You start thinking, what if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? And that is anxiety talking. This is not your gut instinct. It wants to keep you safe, but what it's really doing is sabotaging your growth by limiting your opportunities. But real intuition isn't tied to fear or panic. It feels calm, and it's aligned with who we are at our core. Intuition might say, not now, but soon. But anxiety will tell you, act now, or else something bad will happen. I want to read you another little part from the same book. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. It's going to cost you your comfort zone and your sense of direction. It's going to cost you relationships and friends. It's going to cost you being liked and understood. It doesn't matter. The people who are meant for you are going to meet you on the other side. You're going to build a new comfort zone around the things that actually move you forward. Instead of being liked, you're going to be loved. Instead of being understood, you're going to be seen. All you're going to lose is what was built for a person you no longer are. Okay, now let's talk about how to actually listen to your real gut feeling. I'm gonna be honest with you, it might take some practice, but obviously the more you try, the easier it's going to be to distinguish between anxiety and your gut feeling. So the first tip I want to give you is sit with the feeling. Intuition is patient. It's like a quiet nudge that doesn't demand immediate action. If you take some time to think about it, the message stays clear. Anxiety, on the other hand, tends to spike fast. It's frantic and loud. It urges you to act right away, often because of fear. So when you have a strong urge to do something, just give it some time. Sleep on it, think about it a little bit more. Wait. If the feeling is still there, calm and steady, then that's your intuition. But if it shifts, fades, and grows more chaotic, you'll know that that's anxiety trying to take control. The second tip is notice the physical response. Our body is constantly sending us signals, and understanding those signals will really help you understand whether it's intuition or anxiety talking. Again, intuition feels calm in your body. You will feel a sense of relief or lightness in your body, like a quiet sense of certainty. But anxiety shows up as tension, a tight chest, racing heart, and knotted stomach. It often feels heavy, restless, and stressful. So once you learn your body's cues, it will become a powerful guide for you to distinguish between anxiety and your gut feeling. And tip number 3 is reflect on patterns. Take a moment and ask yourself, is it a repetitive fear, or does it feel like a calm reassurance? Anxiety often loops. It makes you question the same decisions over and over again, and you just feel stuck in this mental spiral. Whereas intuition is a quick, clear signal. So if you notice a fear, it's most likely anxiety. But if you notice a thought that is aligned with your core beliefs, then that's your intuition. That's your inner voice, and you should probably listen to it. Finally, let's talk about how to overcome anxiety-based decisions. Because I'm sure you don't want to make decisions based on your anxiety. You want to make decisions because they are aligned with who you are. So the first thing I can recommend is taking intentional steps one at a time. Not rushing the process and understanding that meaningful change happens gradually. Anxiety often feels overwhelming because it tricks us into thinking that we have to figure out everything all at once, right now, as fast as possible. But honestly, taking tiny steps in the direction of your intuition is the right approach. For example, if your gut tells you that you want to pursue a new career, please don't quit your job tomorrow. Start small, maybe update your resume, take an online class, or reach out to someone in that field. These tiny steps send a message to your brain that I am safe and I am moving forward. The next step is recognizing the comfort zone trap. Self-sabotage often comes from this fear of change. Our brains see change as a threat, even if it's good for us. The comfort zone feels familiar, so it keeps us stuck. So the next time anxiety tries to hold you back, pause and think, is this fear or is this growth? Yes, growth is uncomfortable, but discomfort doesn't mean danger. Lean into that discomfort. It's where transformation happens. At the beginning, I felt so uncomfortable recording YouTube videos. I felt so nervous and so stressed out. Yes, I was afraid, but it was my area of growth and I kept going. The third step is replacing fear-driven habits with intentional habits. Anxiety is all about procrastination, avoidance, or perfectionism. So instead, I want you to create small routines that are aligned with where you want to go long term. So let's say you really want to start drawing and painting, but your anxiety tells you, what if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if everybody is going to laugh at me? Instead of giving in to fear, if you truly want to learn how to draw, maybe watch a YouTube video about it, or maybe sign up for a class just once and then see how you feel. Those small moments tend to compound over time, and then before you know it, you're going to feel a lot more confident and you'll be able to continue with your new hobby. And the final step is reframing failures as feedback and not threats. Anxiety convinces us that failure is the end of the world, but intuition knows that failure is just feedback. It's part of the process. Failures are stepping stones and they can teach you so many valuable lessons. So don't be scared to mess up. If you mess up, you'll learn something and use it as feedback. So there you have it. I really hope this video gave you some clarity on how to tell the difference between anxiety and intuition. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you, because it's honestly really rare for people to watch until the end. If you're still here, leave me a spiral emoji in the comments so that I know who watches all of my videos. If you liked today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to see how I went from the anxious attachment to the secure one, I highly recommend this video right here. Just click right here and keep on watching.